Hi, and welcome to Sandy's Numerology. Today I'm going to give you an update and an idea of what 2018 means, and I'll be able to give you some reference points. So 2018 adds to an 11, which is a power number, which adds to a 2. And 11 is about the masses and how one is affected as a part of the masses, or you are the one that affects the masses. So, for example, Prasa has had 2 train accidents that affects the masses. It even affected them the days afterwards because trains could not travel on those lines. In Cape Town, 2 trains collided, again affecting the masses. Then we are looking at the legal cases that are being implemented and happening from S3 trial through to Patricia DeLille, who is seeking legal advice and appointing lawyers. We also go to Taiwan, and that is the earthquake that happened in Taiwan, and you could see the physical buildings leaning because an 11 is upright, and when something tilts it and shakes it, it can start to lean or fall down. And that, of course, the aftershocks is again pushing the ground and pushing the buildings, and things are wavering. And that is just the beginning. We go to Cape Town, where they've got the water crisis, and then you've got Johannesburg and Durban and Bloemfontein sending water down to Cape Town, as well as they were drilling and they found water. So there is the whole thing about the water crisis, where there's some positives as well as there is the negative. And again, I'll reiterate that there is no date of birth for when Cape Town was physically named. I'm tentatively working on the, I think it's the 5th of June, 1652, which gives double 11s, which, if that is the founding date of Cape Town, tells you that Cape Town's got water problems for another 3 to 4 years. So be aware of that. This also then brings in the Dow Jones Industrial Average that fell on the 5th of February 2018, and there will be a program that will come up on the Dow Jones and the New York Stock Exchange. But it slid and it lost billions, and there was still 2 days thereafter that it continued to lose. And the Dow Jones birthday is the 16th of February, and as we record this is the 10th of February, so it's crossing into its birth date, and it is going into a number 11. So that's the start of the wavering of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The other massive things that are happening is all of the women abuse cases. Not only in America, we saw ANC members beating women, and was posted on Facebook, and Facebook is an 11, it's out there, it's for the masses. And 2 men were identified, one in particular. He then went and handed himself in. But it's also about the Zuma story, where it's kind of backwards and forwards. It's very unsettling. South Africa's age is 56, which is in 11, so it's backwards and forwards. We go into a personal 11, which is also going to be about the unsettled regarding South Africa internally, and that will show you how things will take a while to settle. From May of this year, we take it to November, where it'll start to semi-find its feet, and then it will find its feet even better when we hit 2019, because we go out of all of the 11s. But the legal cases are also about the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, and this is about Steinhoff losing and wavering, and then absolutely falling, and then affecting the staff that work for all the companies that Steinhoff owns, but it has affected around the world because they've got offices in overseas, and that is also going to bring in a legal story because of the investigation, which will affect Joost and all the owners of Steinhoff. We then go to Kenya, where it's 2 TV stations because of the voting and what was happening with who was being appointed as the head of Kenya. They took the 2 TV stations off air, which affects the masses. And only yesterday, the 9th of February, which is interesting because the 9th of February gives you double hidden 11s, which means it was still wavering, but eventually the 2 stations were back on air as of yesterday. Then we've got this massive case in America, which is with Tesco, where the women are fighting for equal pay. Some of the men have been okay with their salaries being reduced. Most of the men at the top don't want their salaries reduced, but there's a big fight about equal pay for women. So it'll be interesting to see the outcome of that. The other 2, there's 2 positives here, which is the launch of SpaceX, which is Elon Musk, because again, that 11 is something that was seen around the world. It was photographed and put on the World Wide Web, and how it has in the long term going to be affecting the masses. Then we've got the Olympics that is happening, and you've got North and South Korea, which are standing as 2 individuals forming partnerships when they are playing in teams together, and yet they're not quite being allowed to even live in the same complexes where they can actually do some team building. But it'll be very interesting to see if anybody from the South Korea country seek asylum, because that would be the 11 as well. You see how Mike Pence from the USA, the deputy president, and the sister of Kim Jong-un being in the same room, yet they're separated. They're sitting in different rows. They're not unified by any means. But one is hoping that there could still be some talks there. And then lastly, we have Donald Trump, where you had Obama, 11 Life Path, lifting people with Obamacare, formulating partnerships with Cuba and Iran, and then you get Donald Trump, who is double hidden 11s, and he is so unstable, and he is destabilizing a lot of the legislation that was passed. He's trying to take away Obamacare. He's also changing a lot of legislation to deal with the dreamers, the people who've been born in America, and getting rid of people that don't have the correct documentation, because 11 is about legal. So that is giving you the first month of January up until the 10th of February of what an 11 means, and we're only at the beginning. So it's going to gain some momentum. We will see a lot of stock markets that are going to go backwards and forwards too. So be very mindful when you are sitting in situations where there are the masses, and being a lot more diligent of what's going on around, because this increases the time when you've seen many incidences of cars driving into the masses. So people out there around the world, take extra care and be extra diligent. Thank you for watching Sandy's Numerology.